Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Ruby Girl Talk with your favorite Ruby Girl, Dr. K. Dr. K is back once again in the house. I know y'all so excited. So for my people that be on time, I know you already watching this live. So what I need you to do for me is something very free, but it's so powerful. I just need you to share this video. That's all I need you to do. I need you to like it too, and then I need you to share so that everybody can see what's going on in the Ruby Girl world. All right. So tonight I have my favorite guest. Don't tell anybody that I said this. My favorite guest, Dr. Katrina Shaw. How you doing today?
I'm doing fine, Dr. K, and I'm so excited to be back on the Ruby Girl Show tonight.
I know. I feel like we're like in the same room. I miss you. I miss my friend. I haven't seen her since she's been here for the Leadership Experience Tour, um, founded and headed by Sean Fair. Sean, I just gave you a little free advertisement right there. But
Fair
anyway,
the
we're
Beast.
gonna get what you say.
So yeah, Sean Fair the Beast.
Yes, he is truly the beast. It's like after we connected with him, both our platforms like became magnified, just got out there. And I always tell people, even when on an interview, I was like, if you want to connect and really grow really fast, the Sean Fair Leadership Tour is who you want to go in there, you want to speak, but you definitely want to connect with Sean Fair because he's so down to earth. And you don't see people that's that well off with that much power. So how can I put it, so humble and so willing to help others that's coming behind him. And he's such a pusher of other people, but we're not on here to give him a free commercial. So what I need you to do, Dr. Shaw, is to go on my page, find this video and share it on your page. So your people won't be spelling my name wrong while they're trying to find me. Okay.
And if you already did it, as soon as you hit boom,
What?
I was
See, that's what I'm talking about. She be on it. Let it rub off on me. Let it rub off on me. But anyway, let me give you that $3 million commercial. Every week is going up. Inflation is here, them tariffs and stuff. So I gotta cover that. So this is Dr. K, your favorite Ruby girl, the founder and the CEO of His Designs. But my brand is the Ruby Girl brand. Ruby Girl comes from Proverbs 31:10. Who can find a virtuous woman for her price is far above the price of the rubies? So, ladies, this is a special just for us. It makes us rare, virtuous, and always valuable because God has said that we are valuable. So, the Ruby Girl platform gives women the opportunity to discover their value, to learn things in business that they don't want to learn. I break it down for you and I help you with those business skills that you need to have. And then also the Ruby Girl Talk Show give you a platform to share your business, share your service, and just to get your story out there. So we're going to get started tonight because I can't wait for this conversation. Dr. Katrina Shaw, will you please introduce yourself to this wonderful audience that's out there right now sharing this video?
Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Katrina Shaw. I am CEO and founder of M.A.N.E, which stands for Mammograms Are Not Enough Incorporated, which is dedicated to breast cancer awareness 501c3 nonprofit. I'm also a health advocate, author, and a certified holistic nutritionist. And an inspirational speaker. And I'm so excited to be on the Ruby Girl Show tonight.
Wow. Most women that I know that come on my show, they do multiple things. Women just don't. I'm an author. They're an author, they're a speaker, they're a teacher. And it's amazing how God has gifted you to save lives. Not too many people can put that in their introduction that because of them, because of their knowledge, because of their nonprofit, that women are living and they're living to leave a legacy, that women don't just hear, hey, it's nothing we can do for you. You give them an opportunity where they have options. Like, and I just want to toot our horn really, really, really loud, y'all. I have a friend, and she found out she had breast cancer. And so I referred her to Dr. Katrina. Dr. Katrina never met her. Honestly, I've never met her. We had met online. And so Dr. Katrina referred her to a center in Chicago. This lady, she didn't know anything about it. And so when she went to her job, they told her, we don't cover that. and said we used to, but we don't anymore. This lady advocated because she's connected with Dr. Katrina, and I'm quite sure she felt how she advocates for others. And guess what? The job told her we're going to change our policy and we're going to cover this. And so now she's going to get her treatments and everything. And she constantly thanks me for the connection with Dr. Katrina, because the young lady, she just didn't know what to do, and many of us don't. When we hear that we have cancer, I mean, you don't know what to do. You don't know your first step. And even if you get to that first step, you don't even know your next step. So you need somebody like Dr. Katrina to help walk you through. And what I love about her, she just don't help just breast cancer patients. She helped people with cancer also. But we're gonna get into that during the show. I'm not gonna reveal everything, but I do want to know what inspired you to start the nonprofit M.A.N.E. Mammograms Are Not Enough. I love that. Mammograms are not enough.
It inspired me just because of actually my story, but I'm 11-year breast cancer survivor, and I actually got diagnosed on October the 1st. And it was devastating and unbelievable. And I named it Mammograms Are Not Enough because mammograms are not enough. My nonprofit is dedicated not to only to breast cancer, but the importance of diagnostic screening to provide and assist women who don't have insurance enough cover to pay for extra diagnostic screenings, in addition to education and promoting prevent for early detection and educational resources, promote health and education for breast cancer awareness. So when I got diagnosed, and it was, I was glad that it got caught early, but I said I was going to start my nonprofit because I realized that this journey is not about me. It's about being a blessing to other women. And I named it Mammograms Are Not Enough because it wasn't. And later on, like in this presentation, I'm going to share my journey and my story and let you know why my one no saved my life. But I started out as a blog on Facebook at first, and then I said that for like the first year, and then from there I birthed my nonprofit in 2019.
Wow. 2019, you kind of launched a year after I launched Ruby Girl. That's funny. We right there together. So I guess Ruby Girl, you coming up on 6 years.
Yeah,
Wow.
6 years.
Ruby Girl coming up on 7 years. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's amazing. Out of your pain, you found your purpose. And a lot of people, when they hear the diagnosis of cancer, they don't think about, once they get over it, helping somebody else through the process. But I love that you're just a generous person. When you are a giver, you understand, I got through this. I got to help somebody else get through it. Just like my passion for business. I know the struggles I had, getting where I am now. And I love to help other people get through their struggles, or to help them, whatever they're dealing with, because a lot of times you don't get help. No matter what the situation, a lot of
Yes.
you have to try and find help, and it's so tedious. But you like, listen, I'm right here. Mammograms are not enough. If your insurance don't cover it, or you need some help getting your insurance covered, I'll help you. And I'll tell you this, my experience with the mammograms and whatever. So because of the density of my breast and whatever, they have a hard time. And so I would always get a mammogram and an ultrasound the same day. I went one time, they told me the insurance no longer allows you to get both of them on the same day. They said you have to call and schedule the ultrasound. So I thought about it. I say, how many women, it's hard enough for them to get the mammogram? You got them in there. Why not walk them over across the hall and give them their ultrasound? And it's almost like the insurance company is kind of trying to make it hard for us. Because remember the year when they told us to stop doing breast exams?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was some years ago. They would say, you don't have to do breast exams and stuff. And it makes you think, like, what is it, y'all? Right, what's really going on when it comes to like breast cancer? But you see so many people and young women now getting it.
Yes, I'm pushing it so much because it's just so many young women are getting it. And that's why I advocate so much, because of the younger women, it's hard, man, like, first of all, they can't get a mammogram. And second of all, because when they go to their doctors, they get pushed away, and because they're thinking they're too young, that, even if you had a pain here or whatever, you don't, that's nothing. And that's what happens. They get pushed away, And my important thing is advocate, 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 advocate for yourself. Don't let them say, no, you can't. No, if they say, no, you can't, you go somewhere else because you know your own body. And if you feel that something's not right, go further because they push you away. Oh, it's nothing. And you then by the time they figure out, okay, let's get a screening, which will be an ultrasound or MRI because you can't get a mammogram. Then they see something and then you may be at a higher stage. You know, so so many young women are getting diagnosed and they're pushing them away because they're thinking it's nothing because they're younger. They're not at that age.
I attended a funeral a few months ago of this young lady. She used to live down the street from me, and she got breast cancer. And she wasn't even 30, and she passed away. And she shared some pictures of her breast cancer that she was going through, and her breast was just so graphic. You know, I think she was trying to do some natural remedies also, and then she was having a problem with her insurance company, and they was trying to raise money. And it saddened my heart because you already going through this, and then the insurance company won't take you serious, probably because she was so young, you know. And she ended up passing away. I thought she was getting better. She seemed to be getting better. And then next thing I know, across my line, it was like, rest in peace. And I was like, rest in peace, you know. And she was a young, vibrant, just highly enjoying life type of young lady that definitely, you know, didn't deserve this. And you wouldn't think at that young that, you know, on her obituary, you know, she died from breast cancer. And it's like when I saw the pictures of her breast, I was like, oh my God, I can't even imagine you looking at your body just doing this to yourself, and you can't get any help about it, you know?
Yes.
So many women, like you said, they rely solely on mammograms. What are some early signs of breast cancer that often go unnoticed? This is very important, y'all.
Yeah.
So make sure y'all
Yeah,
listen.
very important. A lot of things, quite a few things that go unnoticed. If you have any kind of change in your skin, and when I'm saying changes in your skin is like any kind of redness, if you see any kind of dimples, like any kind of dimpling in your skin, and you're on around your nipples, if you see any kind of discharge or your nipple maybe being inverted, if you have any pain in your breast, around your breast, particularly any kind of swelling or anything, soreness, or anything underneath the arm where the lymph nodes are. Those are actual signs that go unnoticed, or even like a rash, because there's also kind of cancer that's called inflammation. It's like it's breast cancer, but it's inflammation. So if you even see a rash, that could be a sign of breast cancer as well. So those are typically signs that go unnoticed.
I remember I had just last year I had a breast concern. And one thing you said, there's pain. And I told my doctor, I said, you know, I keep having pain. And she said, well, the good thing is pain is not it usually is not a sign of breast cancer. She said, if it's hurting. And I said, really? You know, so I sometimes wonder how well some doctors know the signs of breast cancer. But she did. She pushed me a mammogram through. So now instead of me going every year, I have to go every 6 months because they're monitoring some things. But every time I go, I think about you, how you said no to that clip. And so, and I think about it, you know, because I've had biopsy and everything. So they always have been, you know, monitoring and stuff. So I'm very conscious to make sure I get my mammograms, get my exam. But it's like every year you go, something done changed with the insurance company or something, and you can get a little frustrated.
Yeah, and that really upsets me about the that because that's what I talk about, and that's what my diagnosis is all about. Me getting how I talk about diagnostic, and diagnostic for everyone out there that does not know is a mammogram along with a sonogram. And usually you get that and you get a referral, at least at the time that, you know, I was getting mammogram. It's you have to have some kind of concern. So you definitely need a referral for a diagnostic. It's some kind of concern. So I had cysts in my left breast. So I always had to get, you know, the double do. And the reason why it was so good to get it one behind the other, because after you get the regular mammogram and they do the sonogram, they tell you right after that. You don't go anywhere. So if something's wrong, you know, they tell you right after that. So I'm just really annoyed how now they're trying to make you wait. So if something is wrong, you got to wait to get the diagnostic. That's crazy.
It doesn't make sense. I'm there. I'm undressed. I can walk, and then it's not like the ultrasound is at another facility.
It's right
It's right.
there.
But I noticed this when I went back this time for my mammogram. They walked me over there to get my ultrasound, and it might be because it was a concern, or else they done changed it again. So I'm like, who out there just really don't want women? And now that's what you're talking about, women's health. That's women health right there. And you can see that for some reason, when it comes to breast cancer, I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if it's a money thing, because think about it. Breast cancer awareness, it makes a lot of money. Breast
Yes.
cancer.
And not only breast cancer, cancer, period.
Yeah, so that's why I said I can't see somebody say, "Hey, I got to cure the cancer," and they be like, "Oh, no, 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 wait a minute, hold up, no, nah, this will," I don't really think they're gonna ever say they have a cure to cancer, even if they have one or come up with one, because they're making up too much money.
And it's sad. But I'm just want to ask you though, when you go, you make sure, like I'm telling everybody else out there, just don't get a regular mammogram. Make sure you get there's a 3D, which is the next best thing to a diagnostic. So make sure that when you go, they have the 3D machines. If they don't have the 3D machines, don't get no regular mammogram. Go somewhere where they have a 3D. So, and if you have dense breasts, any kind of concerns, you definitely should be getting a diagnostic, something that they can see clear. Dense breast, you should not just be getting a regular mammogram. Not at all.
Ladies, y'all hear that? Dense breast, that means like you have lumps in them, or the tissue.
Right. Dense breast, because dense means that they can't really see that clear on a regular mammogram.
And
they seen calcifications.
Mm.
Things now that before, back in the day, they weren't considered high risk. If you have calcifications, it's like now just cyst, and that's high risk. Dense breasts, just making sure that everything now is like it's quite a few more high risks that you have to look at if you have them. So if it's any kind of concern that's considered in a high risk factor, just make sure you get if you're not getting a 3D, get a 3D or a diagnostic.
Okay. And I had to think about it. I got into the breast care system when I was 19.
Oh, wow.
When I was 19 years old, a doctor had found out I had this breast and sent me for a mammogram. So I kind of been in the system of mammograms for quite a long time,
19?
I remember I was 19 years old, and my cousin was like, "Do you want me to go with you?" And I was like, "No, I got it." And yeah, ever since I was 19. So you see, healthcare was different back then. It was never no hesitation.
Can push you away at 19.
No, at
Wow.
19. Yeah. I had forgot about it. So what are some of the misconceptions about breast cancer detection that you aim to break through your work?
Intersections that always are age. They feel like that's an older person's disease. Family history. Family history is one. Is always in the family history. That's kind of like a risk factor if it don't have family, if it's not in the gene type of thing, or any kind of they think is a death sentence. Like you get cancer, that's totally a death sentence, or thinking that some kind of misconceptions from like antidepressants like deodorant and stuff like that. So those are some of the kind of like myths out there that it's always considered to breast cancer. It's always you got to be older, or it's in your family history. No, you don't have to be old. As you can see now, so many more younger people are getting diagnosed with breast cancer than the older people there.
And it's aggressive. And the younger people, I'm noticing it's very aggressive in the younger people. And some people are saying it's underwire bras. That's one thing I've heard. Have you heard that?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, and I know some people that have been through breast cancer treatments. It does changes your body. Some people come out with lymphedema.
Oh yeah, that's the swelling underneath the arm. Yes.
Yeah, I've seen, so yeah, that treatment, it does change your body. And then a lot of people think when they get breast cancer, you have to automatically get your breast cut off. That's not always true, is it?
No. Now the days it's so many different options. And that's why I was glad that's the thing about early detection and getting it caught early. And I had so many options. I was just like in awe. I mean, even though I was like, I was upset because I had breast cancer, but I had different options to choose from. So that's like the blessing. I ended up getting, but I didn't need to because I was a stage 1, but by the time I went through the surgery, they realized I was like a 0. Well, I just did it because of my own comfort. I got a bilateral mastectomy, and I got what was called a nipple sparing mastectomy. But you have to be you have to be not you have to be in a position to get that because it depends on where the cancer is, the stage, the location. So basically, I have the whole outside of my breast, nipples, and they just shelled out the cancer. And I ended up I didn't have. There's another procedure you can get, and they do something with your fat. They can take your fat out of different areas of your body and make your breast. And they also, even if you don't have your nipples, they can tattoo. They do all types of things now. But I was able to keep my nipples, and I didn't have enough fat to make my own, which I wanted to do, but to get my own breast made. So I got implants. So, and I got a double. It's called bilateral mastectomy, nipple sparing bilateral mastectomy. That's what I got, and I didn't need no chemo or any radiation at all.
I never heard of that procedure. I know now they have, more tools. Like you said, I heard about the tattoos, but is the implants good for you? What is it? Saline implants?
I have the not the say they have saline, and they have the gel. I have the gel implants. Yeah,
Okay.
they don't last forever. And I know they had recalls on some of them. And I went back to my I'm always concerned. I went back to my course. I should be went back to my plastic surgeon to make sure the ones I had wasn't recalled. But they last 10 years. They don't last forever. So that actually in July I'll be going back in for my reconstruction to get them
Oh
replaced too.
wow. See, I didn't know that. I just thought once you had them in there, they was in there. And it seems like, after have breast cancer, they'd be kind of leery of putting something, like that in your body. But like you said, I could go with the fat part, taking the fat from my body and moving around. Matter of fact, I would donate some fat right now if anybody, honestly, I'm quite sure,
Other donations. It's just weird how they
would
don't
donate that.
look, they don't have donation for that, but look, they have
Yes.
donation for blood and stuff. What about the fat? So I can give me some boobs.
Yes, we wouldn't have to do lipo. Come on, somebody. We just gave you an
They
idea.
didn't have something. They said, "Oh, here's a container of fat if you decide to do this option."
Girl, I'll be the first and like take this, the little budges on the side, get that stomach, get all that. I want to save some lives. And we're not joking
I know.
about breast cancer because breast cancer is serious, but sometimes
Yeah.
you just got to be light about some stuff. And you got to trust God because it's definitely a faith walk. Because once you hear the C word, you can't go into defeat mode. You have to go into fight mode and you have to get your faith up. You definitely, I had to speak at a breast cancer awareness event, and I was telling them, I was like, do you remember your first fight? And I said, when you hear that you got cancer, it changed your whole life. That day before, you became a different person that you would never be the same again because now you're becoming a breast cancer survivor. That's what you becoming a survivor. And you got to know how to fight. Just like you know how to win in fights, you got to learn how to win when it comes to breast cancer. But I do think when it comes to cancer, the most important thing is your connections. People
Yes.
that's praying for you. I had my hairdresser, she had cancer. And so now, don't get me wrong, she was for the streets. I had another friend. She was a minister. She had breast cancer. She didn't tell anyone. I didn't even know till she passed away. But my hairdresser, she had all her clients praying. She was telling everybody everything. She went through it. She only had I think maybe one time that we came to her, we had the blow dry on hair, but she was able to still do hair. My friend passed away. It's power in prayer. And so a lot of people that don't tell people that they're sick, you don't know what person can get a prayer to heaven. Some people have some people have a measure of faith and some people have a gift of faith. Some people, it is their calling, their anointing to be prayer warriors. And
Yes.
so you don't know who could have been praying, interceding, fasting for you And God could have had mercy upon you. Because listen, how many times has a fast changed God's mind when he was going to destroy Nineveh and they went and they fasted? So that's why I tell you, if you have cancer, please get the people around you praying for you. You might like, oh, I don't want them to have pity on me. Baby, you want them to have prayer on you. That's why you got to tell the right people. Don't hide this. Don't hide it. Talk to somebody. Go to your pastor. Even if they got people praying in the church and they're not mentioning your name, but the prayers are for you. Please don't isolate yourself. And next thing we know, you gone. And then it's like suicide. You know how suicide, you don't get that. Well, maybe I could have just said something. Maybe they should have said something. It's the same feeling because you feel like, I wish I had known. I could have said goodbye. I could have spent more time. So please don't do that. Isolate yourself. Dr. Katrina, any comments?
Yes. Oh my God. Do not. I mean, I know when I got diagnosed, I was devastated because, like I said, no family history. And then the year prior, my husband was diagnosed with prostate cancer. I mean, it was just, it just took my breath away. It was just so unbelievable, But like I said, once I did, the first thing you had to do was go to the surgeon. So once I went to the surgeon, and that's when he told me, the first thing he was giving me my options, and that's where M.A.N.E came from, because he was like, he said, you were blessed that your radiologist looked further. Because like you said, I could have had a radiologist that would, because I had actually a biopsy before, and in the breast I had cancer with. Mm-hmm. And that's where that clip came in at. Because I had a biopsy there and I didn't have the clip, but still he saw something. He saw a nodule there. And that's why he was persistent to have me. And he knew that was the area I had to, but still, because it wasn't the exact location was not marked, he was persistent in having me get that sonogram. And by me getting
the sonogram, we gotta leave him hanging. Gotta leave him hanging. We're gonna leave him hanging on that. We're gonna tell. Okay, we can't. We're gonna leave all of. We're gonna leave him hanging right there.
You gotta trust God, and you just gotta. That's what I did. I mean, I had a friend that came. You gotta stay in the Word. You gotta stay in the Word. It's like this is not the time to break down, because that stress and everything that would just put you in a deeper way. And stress, how it goes through your body, and how they say stress can kill you. That's true. I mean, so you're not trying to get all stressed out, whatever. So you just got to stay positive and as calm as you can, and just believe and trust God that he will get you through. And that's what got me through. I just kept trusting God. I mean, I kept trusting God through the whole process, and through the whole process, I had peace.
So we left you hanging on her story because she was about to get into her story. But I want y'all to come back after the break, because I'm here to tell you, when you hear her full story, we just gave you a little bit. Now you're on the edge of your seat like, what happened? Well, stay for after this 30-second commercial that Dr. Katrina is going to give us. And I promise you, this story is powerful. So Dr. Katrina, while I go online, see who's and check out what's going on social media, give us a 30-second talk. You can talk about anything you want for 30 seconds.
Okay. So I just want to say, anybody out there that's going through your cancer journey, or maybe even a survivor, just don't give up. Don't give up. Just trust God through your journey, and stay around people that's going to lift you up, that's going to support you. And there's always someone out there that could, you're not alone, where you can get help from, get assistance from. That's why I birthed my nonprofit, because once I got diagnosed and I got myself in this journey, I said, hey, this journey is not about me. It's about being a blessing to someone else, so they won't have to be where I am. If I can help prevent that, or give them the resources where they need to go if they're in their journey, to go along, be along their side. A lot of people get diagnosed and they say, hey, I know Katrina. And just like Dr. Karan said, I didn't even know this girl. And I just, I felt for her. She was young, and I was telling her, I said, you know how you have to advocate for yourself. And I said, where do you live? Trying to find different places. And I said, talk to your insurance company. And I said, don't take no for an answer. Find out what they can do for you, because it's something that can be done. There's somewhere else that you can go. If they say no, there's somewhere you can find. And I said, if you need my help to advocate on your behalf, to talk to someone, I'll do that. So to surround yourself with positive people that will help you, pray for you, and get you through your journey, and someone like me. And then, if you need resources, there's resources out there. And like you said, because mammograms is not enough, and this is not a death sentence. And you can be victorious, and you can walk through your steps, because God has got your back.
Amen. Amen. So how can we get in contact with you? How can we connect with you?
Okay, my website is www.maininc.org. And I'm on Facebook, Dr. Katrina Little Shaw. That's my regular Facebook page. Mammograms Are Not Enough Incorporated is my Facebook page for M.A.N.E. I have a Instagram, M.A.N.E. INCORG, at M.A.N.E. INCORG, and my regular Instagram is KLS2DST. And I'm on LinkedIn too, as Katrina Shaw.
All right, girl, you out there, ain't you? That's what I love, her passion for this. I mean, she was made for this. And what you said about, you told my friend to advocate, and that's what she's been doing. She has been advocate. She took that to heart. And like her family is not really here. They're in the Philippines. And so for people like me and for you, that me and her have never met, to embrace her, to support her during her journey, because she found out the chemo wasn't working. So now she's like, has to go and try some other chemo. She's still in the game. She's still being encouraged. So I try to encourage her all the time. So that's why it's so important, like you say, to get the right. I always say like Ruby girls, the tribe with the right vibe. You have to have the right tribe with the right vibe around you. You don't need nobody. You know, my mama had breast cancer. She died. Please don't share those stories with people that's going through, because you're speaking death. That happened to your mom. Your mom might have had a different stage of cancer. Your mom might have been ready to go. So many different factors why some people live and some people don't. So I went out there and I looked, and Dr. Michelle Rains, I hope Rains, let me see, Rains. I had to think about it. She's out there watching. We got a few more people out there watching. They haven't commented yet because they're so intrigued that they can't even get their fingers to the keyboard. We get it, y'all. But if you're out there watching, you just tuning in, please share, because this is important information that we're getting, and you never know whose life you're saving. And Dr. Katrina, I want you to know that what you're doing is ministry. You are ministering to people and helping people live. I mean, yes, we can preach from the pulpit, but to be on the floor and you helping the people that's in I'm saying like in the congregation, that's basically what you kind of doing, helping them live, saving lives. That's more important than getting up, open a book and saying an hour or two sermon for somebody. You out there in the field and you helping people live. Have you ever thought about how many people that you probably have saved their life?
No, but it's, that's like when I have workshops, sometimes I can say eventually I'm going to start going like this year, branching out and doing some in person. But when I do online stuff, one time I had this girl, I did a workshop. I think she waited. She was from China or somewhere. I had somebody from Africa, like international people getting on, listening. And so I was like, wow. So a lot of times you don't know whose lives you're touching and how, what you're doing. But when you're doing something good and you're doing it for the love of God and you're being a blessing, people are watching. People
Oh
are
yeah.
so this always inspire people. And if you're trying to give back, be a blessing because people are watching. People are
Yeah.
watching.
What you're doing is serious. You can't just get up and say, I'm done with M.A.N.E. You can't just get up and say, I don't feel like doing any more events. I don't feel like talking about it anymore. This is your mandate. This is your calling. This is your cloak from heaven, but you never would have probably just picked up. Most people that are advocates for cancer have had cancer. It's like it just woke up the soldier in them. So I tell people all the time, when you get things that you think is bad news, it could just be God redirecting you to your purpose, being fired from your job, being kicked out of a program, or injury happened and now you have to do something else, or you taking tests to be a professional and it ain't working, then you find out something else. You just never know how God works. God does not always answer your prayers in a pretty way. He just don't. He don't always answer your prayer, show you your purpose in a pretty way. So now, come on, share more of your personal journey, how you have helped others navigate non-breast related cancer, and tell us about your story. I
Well,
just want to hear more of your story.
health.
Yeah.
Like M.A.N.E. is my baby, because I birthed that. But I'm also an ACT lead, which in my congressional district, which is American Cancer Society Cancer Action Network. It's the largest cancer advocacy in the United States. And we make sure we let Congress and the lawmakers know that cancer is a priority. So that's all types of cancers. I do that. The affinity network of group of the ACS CAN is the BBC, Black Volunteer Caucus. I'm one of the co-chairs. That's also helping out African Americans in the community with this disparities. We recruit, we're trying to get information for, as far as disparities in our community, engagement, getting sponsorships, just doing what we can do to get Black people engaged and to give them information and resources as far as disparities in our community. That's what the BBC is basically all about. Then American Cancer Society, ACS, has a study called Voices of Black Women. I'm an ambassador of that. That's something recent, a recent study. This now is, we're trying to get over 100,000 people to join the study. You have to be from it's in 50 states. It started out in particular states, but not all 50. Now it just recently, it's in 50 states. You have to be 25 to 55 to join the study. And the study is because we, as Black people and women, we are so unrepresented. And we need voices in this study to help get the word out. And the study is online. It's for a year, and it's probably going to be every other year continuously. It's going to be a long-term study, but that's going to be awesome. So if you want to know more information about that, to join, we're trying to get people to join you. These are people that's not a cancer survivor. And you're not, you don't have cancer. So then your age has to be 25 to 55. And to be involved and to join is voices.cancer.org. Voices.cancer.org. So if you don't have cancer, a lot of things that you do to help improve your health, and most important thing is to get engaged in opportunities to make a difference. And that's what Voices do. And that's what I do besides M.A.N.E. I try to do whatever I can to be a blessing, to make a difference and to help somebody else. And that's what the importance is to me. But as far as my journey and my story, I'm 11-year breast cancer survivor. I got diagnosed on October the 1st, 2013, on Breast Cancer Awareness Day. Now, who would have known? And my particular story goes like, I was getting mammograms. I was going to my regular mammogram appointment. And as I told you earlier, I always had to get a diagnostic mammogram. What a diagnostic is the mammogram along with a sonogram. And that was always because I had a cyst in my left breast. And anytime you have any kind of concern, like I said earlier, a cyst, fibrocystic disease, any kind of lumps, or particularly too, if you have a dense breast, you should be getting a diagnostic. So what happened on my appointment, I went to the radiologist, and for that particular time I went, he looked at my breast and he said, that doesn't look like a cyst. Now, all this time I've been going, I did have cysts, but it was one particular nodule that he saw. He said, that doesn't look like a cyst. He said, that is a fibrinomer. Okay, so I said, what is a fibrinomer? Now, when we go to the doctor, that's the most important thing. You have to ask questions. So he explained it. He said, because anybody on here, they may have heard of fibrinomer or know someone with it. It's what it is it's a nodule. Similar, it looks like it's hard, and it looks like sometimes I guess some people can misinterpret it being a cyst, but he knew it wasn't because it was hard and mimic cancers on the screening. Because of that, I had to get a biopsy done. So when the woman gets a biopsy done, she has to put a titanium clip in her to mark the exact location. And that's if they have to go back in. So when they told me that, I didn't feel comfortable with that. So I told them, no, I don't want the clip. And I can't tell you from this day, it was just God put it in my spirit. I just said, no, I didn't want this clip. So they was like, well, if you don't get the clip, if we have to go back in, we can't, we can't. I said, I just don't want it. So they said, okay. So they did the biopsy without the clip. And everything came back fine. And I was like, thank God, I was good. So the next year I did go back. I was still fine. It was like, it looks like, things are getting better. Like it's everything, it's going, going away, the area where the nodule was. So this third year after that, I went back. And I had to tell you, I always usually, like I said, I get a diagnosis, so I get everything at the same time. This year they had moved location of where I guess it's not diagnostic, but the location in the hospital. So they told me I'm gonna do the mammogram, and I'm, you know, we can't do the diagnostic right now, but we'll call you back if we see something, you know, 2 weeks. And I'm thinking, you know, I'll be fine. 2 weeks, and I get the phone call. You know, Michelle, we see something. I was freaking out. They was like, you know, it's probably nothing. You know, they probably, you know, when you see something, it's probably nothing. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. And of course, I was praying, saying, okay, yeah, I you know, just got to think positive, of course, be fine. So then they call me back and they say, we've seen something. This is after the 2 weeks I've been waiting, hoping I was fine. So I go in, I never forget, I was on my appointment at work. And my appointment was at 2 o'clock, y'all. I was in there till like 5 o'clock. And everybody that knows a mammogram is not comfortable. Okay. And you know, and I don't, and especially if you don't have a big chest, you know, what it hurts. So continued on and on and on doing this mammogram. They were doing it. They were so concerned about my left breast, right? And I was getting annoyed because I was like, I got the biopsy, y'all. On. And I did hear the doctor when I was in the waiting room for like the 7th time, like I kept going in, going out, going in. So they said nodule, but it didn't, you know, it didn't click. So when I went in, they did the sonogram and they saw something. They was like, okay, you're gonna have to get a biopsy. So they scared me because they really wanted me to get it done that night, but they didn't. So I ended up getting it done the next day, and he was like, oh, you know, everything went fine. He said, but I said, it doesn't look like, he said, no, it doesn't look like, you know, like it was a cyst. But when they see something, they actually know. They just can't really, you know, tell you. So they did the biopsy, and then I got the results back, of course, that no one wants to hear, that I had the ductal carcinoma. They said it was invasive. So of course I asked question too. What does the invasive mean? They said invasive, little bit going out and all this stuff. Even though I was just crazy because I was at work at the end of the day, I was just done. I just couldn't believe it. Went home, you know, my husband, I was just broke down crying because he just was diagnosed a year before. He said to me, you know, if God did it for me, you know, he's going to do it for you. So, you know, so he held me up. He was, you know, my favorite, you know, supporter out of all that, you know. And you know, I kept it together. You know, I said, I'm just not gonna just keep trusting God, not gonna break down. So the first thing I had to do was to see the surgeon. So I did. I went to see the surgeon, and that's when I found out I was so thankful. Even though I had breast cancer, it was caught early. I had so many options. That's the thing about when it gets caught early. I had so many options. I could have got this, and I could, you know, I had like about 4 or 5 different options. So that's when he said to me, he said, you are blessed that your radiologist looked further because your mass could not be seen or felt on a regular mammogram screening. And I'm like, and I'll say this again. He said, your radiologist looked further and your mass could not be felt or seen on a regular mammogram screening. So I was like, what? So after all this happened, you know, and I left and I was thinking to myself, that's what the radiologist kept telling me. He kept saying to me, I didn't call you back for that. And it didn't click. Now I'm going to tell you how that one note saved my life. So when he called me back, they called me back because of that nodule, but because I didn't have that titanium clip in that didn't mark the exact location. So if I would have had that clip in, they would have never called me back. And I could have been walking around today not knowing that I have breast cancer. So that's how my one no saved my life. I didn't need no chemo, no radiation. By the time they finished the surgery, I went from a 1 to a 0. Once they went in, they barely saw even a mass. Nothing. Completely. It was a 0.
Wow.
So that's what Mammograms Is Not Enough came from. And like you said, I started out with a blog, and in 2019, I went full force with my nonprofit. I said, you know, this journey is not about me. It's about being a blessing to someone else and let them know that they may not have to be in my shoes, knowing that mammograms are not enough.
Wow, that's a powerful story. God's grace and the fact,
Yes.
like you said, you didn't have that clip, so they had to search around. They just didn't have. They didn't go to one spot.
And know what the thing is too? Because I see they know, like you said, if they have to go back in or not. Because the second time when they had to do when they said they had to do the biopsy, and I tried that no clip that time, he they and he said when I said that no, he was like he looked at me, he was like, mm-mm. He said, no, we you're gonna have to get the clip. And when he said that, I knew that was an indication that they knew they had to go back in. So I was preparing myself. I knew it. Because the first time they was like, we you okay, we'll let you, we'll let it go because they knew that there was, I was okay. But when they told me, when I said no, I tried to no one more time, but that second no, they was like, mm-mm. And when they said no, I said, because they know they have to go back in. And I knew then I just started praying. I said, Lord, I said, I'm pretty sure there's something there, but whatever's there, I just, just get me through this. And that's what he did.
Wow. Isn't it something? Your husband had cancer. You was there for him. You advocated for him. And
I
then
was his
turn
kid.
around. Yep, then you had cancer. Isn't that something? But you know what? God worked it out for his good. And I hope your story is inspiring somebody that's like, feeling hopeless, feeling like God has forgotten about them and why is this happening to me? And
It's
you're
not a
showing a
death.
why. Yeah.
It's not a death sentence. You just got to
It's
stay
not.
strong and trust God.
Amen. So, what events do you have coming up or fundraisers from Maine, and how can we support you?
The Maine is 6th-year anniversary. I'm doing an anniversary campaign, and I have some nice tumblers. And guess who designed my tumbler? Dr. K.
What?
He designed
Let me
the
pull this
tumbler.
up. We gotta share this, y'all.
I
Y'all
got
gotta
a new
see
product
this.
line. My first product line is my inspiration. They call inspirational hope tumblers now. They're beautiful. Go ahead and put that tumbler up.
There we go. There we go.
Oh, I don't see. Oh, there they go. Yeah,
Yeah, there it is.
$20, y'all.
That's
They inspiration.
amazing.
They have some verses on them.
Yes.
Leave, amazing, warrior.
Yes, strong. As you go through your treatment, it's good to have something in your hand that you can look at and be like, hey, I'm being strong. Hey, I'm never alone. God is there for me. So this is, even if you're not, this will be great for somebody that's going through breast cancer treatment. And I'm definitely gonna order one for my friend. They're a 20-ounce tumbler, and I believe it keeps your liquid hot or cold for at least 8 hours. Yeah, so it's really good. And she has an event coming up too, y'all. You see.
Yes, my event is celebrating Women's History Month. And it's next Thursday, March 27 at 7 p.m. And it's a webinar. We have 4 powerhouse speakers. Oh my God, it's going to be exciting. And the title is Your Voice is Power, Addressing Breast Cancer Awareness and Disparities. And it's going to be off the chain, y'all. You have to get on because it's all these 4 speakers are going to tell so much. It's going to be so much information out there. So much. We have a mammograph tech researcher. We have Kaya pull up both of those there on. If you heard of Tigerly Foundation, their advocacy for young women with all types of cancer, and the CEO, she is a powerhouse. There's 2 angel advocates that's on there from that organization. There's Sabrina Thomas. She's also an ambassador, and she's ambassador for Voices Black Women. She's going to share her story. She's a breast cancer survivor. And Felicia, she is on ACS Cancer. She's an act lead also of American Cancer Society, Cancer Action Network. She's on the BBC with me as well. And she will be sharing her story and giving that information now. So we got a lot of information. And this is going to, that's why I could say your voice's power is so important to express your voice. Advocacy is so important. You have to advocate for yourself. And they're going to just have a lot. It's going to be a powerful session. So please stop through. It's going to be a powerful webinar, March 27th at 7 p.m. next Thursday.
Next Thursday, y'all mark your calendar. And you know what? Get in the room. Get in the room because you never know. You get in here you hear something like you heard tonight, and you hear one of your girlfriends like, girl, my breast is really hurting all the time. And you can say, hey, I heard from Maine that, that's a sign of breast cancer. Get that checked out, sis. Get it checked out. So you never know how God is connecting you for even you. It might benefit you. You go to your doctor, you hear the news. Now you know who you can get in contact with. So make sure you put down Dr. Katrina Shaw. What's your website again?
www.maininc.org. And we do quarterly workshops. And we also have a survivorship program. And I just launched this year, Living Healthy and Wise, on a holistic approach. It's a health program. So I'm going to be having health webinars, coaching. I'm going to have menus. I'm going to have a whole lot of interesting holistic stuff, for survivors. Because, our wealth is health. You got to stay healthy and live a healthy lifestyle. So that's why I got my certification, so I can help out in that way as well. When breast cancer survivors, all type of survivors, and in general, for anybody that's living needs to, to have a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah,
So
because
breast cancer diagnostic screening and assistance program. And that program helps not only, even if you don't have to be you can be a survivor, or you get not even a survivor, even if you're going to like get a mammogram, you need a diagnostic, you need to get your co-pays, or if you don't have insurance or anything related to breast cancer that you may need help with, a ride to a food, or a ride to the appointments or anything in that nature. We have assistance. You go on the tab for breast cancer diagnostic screening assistance program. There's a assistance form on that tab, and you fill out the form, and it'll go straight to us, and we will assist you where you need assistance with.
okay. All right. We came to the close of our show. It was real quick and very informative. And I'm always so grateful for your support. When I tell you Dr. Katrina supports Ruby Girl, she supports Ruby Girl. So that's why when she asked me to do anything for her, I don't mind doing it for her. I was a little rusty on my designs because my mind was still in the brain fog, but it gave me some new skills. It taught me some stuff. And I was like, you know what? I learned something new while I was doing this too. So you pushed me out of my comfort zone. And I want to thank you for that. And I want y'all to support her. If you understand that you can buy a tumbler that's going to benefit you or benefit somebody that's going through cancer, period, but especially breast cancer, where they go to their treatments, they can keep their beverages cool or hot. It's a wonderful tool and a wonderful gift. So go ahead and give us a 2-minute closeout. Dr. Katrina, make sure you put your contact information and let them know anything else you need to let them know so they can support you.
I just want to tell everyone out there to stay strong, stay encouraged. And if you have breast cancer, or anybody in your family, they may have any type of cancer, cancer is not a death sentence always. Make sure you have a great support system around you. Make sure you have people in your environment that will pray for you. You don't want any negativity, and you want your stress level to be down. But stay encouraged. Your health is wealth. Put God first. And always God has the final say. And God bless you all. And thank you all for listening. And to reach me again, my website is www.maininc.org.
All right. So she wants you to support her workshop that's coming up on March the 27th. Am I right?
Thursday,
March,
yes.
is it 27th? Okay, March the 27th. All right. And it's at 7 p.m. I'm looking at the flyer, 7 p.m. So we want to make sure you're on there to support her. So thank you, Dr. Katrina. I have been on some of her workshops. She's had a DJ on there, so it's not like you're just sitting there like this. Yeah.
Conversation happy.
Yeah, and so it's been fun, it's been interactive, and it's been informative. And I just believe we learn some things for other people around us. So that's why I stay connected to her, because she's my friend too. That's my friend. I miss my friend too. I might have to get to Boston to see my friend, but I'm not flying right now. So they get it together. I'm sorry. But once they get everything together, I'm gonna have to come to Boston. Boston, right?
Oh, no, I'm in Baltimore.
Oh, okay, Baltimore. Okay, see, I've been in the wrong city. I'm glad I asked. No.
Boston. What you got?
You're like, wait a minute, I ain't moved. I know it started with a B. I know that I was close. I
Yeah,
was in the B.
yeah,
I was
Baltimore,
minded.
Beverly.
I've never been there. So anyway, thank you again for
For
tonight. Thank you for
having me.
being so transparent. Thank you for what you are doing, that you're saving lives. And you didn't I know you shared some more different stories with me, how you have advocated for other people with cancer, people that was close to you. And that had to be really hard
That's
when you
very hard.
invested, especially emotionally. But one thing about you, you're strong, you strong, and I can see God strengthen you, and you are passionate about this. Yeah, I mean, you'll fight over this, over
Yeah.
over mammograms are not enough. And so we thank you. We thank you for saving lives. We thank you for educating us. We thank you for having a heart for those that this is the scariest time of their life, and this is a life and death situation, and you take it serious. So I want to thank you. You're always welcome to come back on the Ruby Girl Talk Show. The red carpet is always out for you. And so everybody that watched tonight, I'll be back next Tuesday. I'm looking for women to spotlight for this month. I think we might have one more Tuesday, but I'm looking for one more woman to spotlight, to tell her story, to share what she do, because I want to celebrate women. I celebrate women all year round, but I really want to spotlight them because that's where everybody's thinking about Women History Month, women achievements. So all right, go to rubygirl.net, connect with me, your favorite Dr. K. I don't even know if I did my full commercial and put in my my link. So I'm giving it to you again, my website, rubygirl.net. And thank you, Dr. Katrina Shaw. So I'm going to sign us off Facebook. So everybody on Facebook, y'all have a great and fantastic night. And make sure you connect with her. Even if you go to her page and just like her page, just connect with her. All right, y'all out there on Facebook, y'all have a great night.